Tabe has just released Arc 9 Chapter 2, and this video will be a summary of the chapter. Highly recommend you check out my Arc 9 Chapter 1 summary. Anyways, let's begin. Obart says someone like him won't die in a safe place. He's likely to die on the battlefield. He laughs as he waves his sleeves. Obart no longer has arms. Garfiel's situation was complicated as his magic was not able to heal Obart's arms. After the battle, Garfiel joined the healer's circle to help heal people. Not only that, since his arrival in Wallachia, Garfiel has been fighting for his life. Naturally, his comrades told him the rest, but he did not. He does have a robust body, and due to his divine blessing, standing on the earth is the best rest he can get. In the camp, Garfiel is the least exhausted. The person closest to dying from being tired would be Otto. Once you've made up your mind to do something, it's best to follow through. Priscilla's words echoed in Garfiel's mind. Someone who agreed with Garfiel's stance about doing their best. Garfiel bites his teeth. What was lost was a truly strong woman. They never fought the same enemies, but the bright flames were etched into his mind from what he saw in the battlefield. It wasn't just the loss of Emilia's rival, it was a loss that could not be explained. So, it's Garfiel, Obart says. Preventing as many losses as possible, crushing the undead to save lives. It sounded contradictory, but don't think, just follow your heart, defeat enemies with your strength, heal and save your allies. If you could just save one more person by sacrificing sleep, it was worth it. Obart says the youngsters are leaving him behind, and Garfiel thinks he's being sarcastic because Garfiel can't heal his actual arms. Obart says no, that isn't the case, and he's being genuine. He is in fact jealous of everyone else, and that's what drives his strength. Since jealousy is what makes Obart strong, he once again reiterates the fact that he's envious and jealous. He then scratches his neck with his foot, seemingly unaffected by the lack of arms. Someone tells Obart to shut up, especially by pestering someone who's doing work. Obart says, scary, especially coming from someone that's half dead. Garfiel scratches his head and thanks the person for the support, but states that they're actually one step away from death. The person asks if his thanks is not good enough, and Garfiel pushes him and he falls over. He probably experiences severe pain even now, with continuous healing magic. Garfiel is shocked to see he's awake and talking, but Groovy says it's fine, and even if he has been poisoned, he's perfectly okay with that. We see Groovy took the curse of thorns into his own body, and then it was cut out by the fiend sword. It sounded hard to believe, but Garfiel fighting Mesioria was also very hard to believe from Groovy's side. The accumulation of each feat thwarted the witch's plan. Obart says he's happy to see them survive, and Garfiel says he doesn't know if that guy will survive. On the edge of the room, there was a green gem that glowed, which was embedded into the head. Mogoro walked up to Garfiel and asked for orders. Garfiel dismissed him, and then Mogoro asked the other two, which also said, it's fine, just go chill out. We see that Mogoro is hanging around Groovy, and that Mogoro has essentially lost his memories. We see that Mogoro was in Groovy's vicinity when he awoke, and because he's lost all of his memories, maybe he's sort of imprinting onto Groovy. Regardless, after the explosion, Mogoro seemingly survived, but he doesn't have his memories, and his title is pretty much no longer an issue because he sort of died and reset back to normal. Garfiel also knows that losing one's memories not only affect the individual because their memories are lost, but also to their loved ones who, of course, forget them. With that, Obart continues to joke around, and Meguro once again asks if everything is fine and if he can do anything, and Garfield shares a laugh at the situation. The scene changes. So Anastasia, you're returning to Lagunica via Kararagi? And Anastasia says yes. After all, she entered the Empire from Kararagi as, of course, the special envoy. So it's just a formality, but she has to leave in the same way. Otto says I see, but he had a blank expression. But Anastasia did her job, and it would increase her standing in the Kararagi Council and the royal selection. So she did her job as the special envoy. Of course, Emilia played a significant role after being directly asked for help by Vincent Valakia against a great calamity. They could probably bring back notable achievements. However, Anastasia's camp also contributed not only to the great disaster, but also to the Pleiades Watchtower and to Pre-Stella. Emilia needed her own accolades separate from Anastasia. Anastasia says Otto must be thinking through a lot. Otto does in fact confirm it, but says that Vincent or the Prime Minister have it harder considering they have to rebuild the entire capital. Otto shifted the conversation to the other person in the room, the Prime Minister of Wallachia. The Prime Minister says it isn't really a burden to do all of this work because he should have been executed, and the only reason why he hasn't been is due to the great disaster. They then ask him if he will receive punishment, and it seems like he won't, nor will people unsatisfied with him being alive strike him down or assassinate him. And this is because Cecilus himself said that not only has the Emperor forgiven him, but he was pivotal in the plan by Chisha Gold, and if anyone doesn't like that, Cecilus will act as the Emperor's blade and kill them. The Prime Minister was of course shocked that Cecilus defended him. Otto and Anastasia both concluded that keeping the Prime Minister is the best, since of course he's extremely capable. The Prime Minister says on the upside, the Emperor finally found an Empress. Silence covered the room, mainly since they knew that Vincent did gain stuff, but he also lost stuff as well. He lost Chisha Gold and Priscilla. Anastasia muttered that she truly was a selfish princess. Anastasia displayed a rare fragility. Otto knew that recently their camps were too entwined. Echidna then calls Otto someone who plays the villain. And Otto says, wait, are you talking about me? Echidna says, the fact that you responded shows your inner thoughts. We see that Echidna spoke first because Echidna also noticed Anastasia's sort of wavering. So Echidna jumped in to prevent Otto from exploiting Anastasia. The thing is, Otto already knew what could happen, stating that he isn't a villain, he's just playing a role. Even though Subaru and Emilia were shaken by Priscilla's death, Otto was essentially unchanged. Otto says that a candidate dying is, of course, plausible. Well, of course, it wasn't that unexpected to expect things like assassinations or fatal risks. Otto believed the Council of Wise Men had measures in place, continuing without the dead candidates or simply replacing them. Otto says they'll be leaving in a few days, and Anastasia says to report to the castle soon, as Otto and Emilia have to do something extremely hard. Now, we see that Subaru cannot help because it may harm him, And Anastasia says that Julius visiting Subaru has not helped with the situation. We see that Otto's role was a necessary evil. Should Priscilla have survived, Otto would have challenged her candidacy based on the fact that she's actually from Wallachia rather than, of course, Lagunica. And not only that, he then mutters that even if Priscilla lived, she was never an enemy, of course, because Otto was going to take her out by snitching that she's an imperial candidate. And with that, the chapter ends. So again, another setup chapter. I'm waiting for the, actual big plot points. But thank you for watching. I turned down the music and I turned up the volume, so hopefully that helps. Anyways, subscribe, like, and thank you for watching.